Welcome to Seattle, Washington, an admittedly beautiful city and state that is unfortunately also known for its not so underlying drug and homelessness issue. The politicians here have been adamant about more gun control, to the point that it's virtually impossible to loan a hunting rifle to your neighbor for the weekend without driving to a gun store for a background check. Yet, they haven't been as heavy-handed about dealing with the heroin elephant in the room. I wanted to come out and see what was going on firsthand. When I got here, I found a city where drugs, homelessness, prostitution, and violence tears families apart and has become a bit of a plague on the citizens who live there. From where I stand, the politicians and representatives of this beautiful city seem more interested in other issues instead of addressing the issues that are right under their nose.
What we do is we give you 300 needles. That way you have plenty to give to your acquaintances, friends, strangers, whoever might need one. That way everyone is as safe as humanly possible.
There's no such thing as safe injection. So again, semantics and rhetoric really matter here, and that agenda has been pushed for a long time.
I coach baseball. We have to check the fields before every game because we find needles out on the fields, and they're being found all over the city.
2 of my neighbors within my neighborhood have been stuck by needles in their own yards. Now it's a daily part of living in my neighborhood where anything can get stolen. People are defecating in your yard, leaving needles in your yard.
What's kind of your generalized viewpoint on the dealers of
Like Pfizer?
Well, the city got involved over the gun issue with the cemetery. And we don't care about the homeless people in the cemetery, we don't care about the drug users, we don't care about the prostitutes, but Jews protecting their own cemetery with guns, that's where we draw the line. And,
which is ironic because this is an open carry state.
Exactly.
You know, it's funny to me because the idea of the Second Amendment and being able to own and carry a firearm is essentially symbolic of self-reliance.
If I had poor exercise and poor nutrition and I became insulin dependent, would you somehow decide that, okay, because I made these choices, I should no longer have access to insulin, or I shouldn't have access to insulin because it was my choice?
And here you have a place that's sacred to you, and you decided to take it upon yourself within the law to defend that sacred ground with firearms, but yet the people who are supposed to be in charge and to reinforce those said laws that allow you to do that come here to prevent you from doing that.
You know, people have this assumption of the problem in the community, but you don't.
Yeah.
And so I went to all these nonprofits and I said, I want to change the conditions, I want to do this. And they said, you're a homeless junkie, the only thing you're going to do is die.
95% or more of people who have gotten clean, it doesn't happen unless you hit bottom and get your ass beat bad.
So it's safe to say you're not probably the biggest fan of, say, the idea of a needle exchange.
Well, yeah, if it's an exchange.
And where do we find these needles from the city exchange? Right here on the tombstones.
The needle exchange used to be you'd bring in 2 needles, used ones, and they'd give you 2 new ones. Now, they don't require the drug addicts to bring their needles back.
If you want to be a criminal, Seattle's a very good place to be.
This is a tale of 2 cities. It's nuanced, complex, and polarizing, coming from varied people with different backgrounds and histories. In the coming weeks, you'll hear more from them and hear their personal stories. Stay tuned.